Hey y'all, welcome back to Porch Cooking Reminiscing. I'm Roger, and as always, we are happy to have y'all here with us today. So after doing that video about the penny candy and the old candy bars and things that we had back when we were a kid, kind of got us into the reminiscing mode of thinking about the old nostalgia things that aren't around anymore. And one of the things that we remembered was the old Woolworth stores, and in particular, the Woolworth lunch counter. So today we've decided that we're going to do a video of the recipe for the old Woolworth lunch counter tuna salad. And there's several recipes out there that say that they were the Woolworth recipe. So it's really hard to determine which one of them that it was. So we're going to take what we think is probably one of the best recipes for the tuna salad from Woolworth, and that's what we're going to make.
Yeah. Porch boards sway in a slow rhythm. Got the screen door sighing a low hum. That old wood stove is cooking something good. Smell of bacon filling up the neighborhood.
All right, so to get started with making this tuna salad, first thing we've got to have is 2 cans of tuna. Now, if you're, feeding more people, just you want to double this recipe. But now, one of the things that we did see when we were looking at these recipes is that a lot of them called for the white albacore. I didn't have any white albacore, so we're just using the regular tuna in water, and but if you want to use the white albacore, you can. A lot of times I like to mix one albacore and one regular. So, y'all do it however you want to do it. But and just in case that you're wondering why we're not using the all albacore, it's because I just didn't have any. So now what you want to do is make sure that you press all the water out of your tuna that you can, because you want it to be as dry as you can possibly get it. So I've already done that with this and put it in the bowl. So now we're ready to start adding all the other ingredients. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to add is a third cup of mayo. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to put in is 2 tablespoons of very finely diced white onion. Now, you can use whatever kind of onion you want, but the recipe that we were looking at called for the white onion. Alrighty, so we got that in there, and we've got 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. I'm just going to dump all that in there. And then we got a 1/4 cup of finely chopped celery. And the next thing we're going to put in is 2 teaspoons of dried tarragon. I've never tried this in my tuna salad before, so it's going to be something, for me to try to see what I think. Then we've got 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard and a teaspoon of fresh lemon juice. And then we're going to add a little salt, and we're going to add a little pepper to it. Now, on the salt and pepper, don't put a lot in there because you'll be able to taste it once you get everything mixed up and see whether that it's got enough or if you need to put a little more in there. So that's all the ingredients. Now, again, some of the recipes that we saw called for a finely chopped boiled egg, some didn't. So we're not going to put the boiled egg in here, but if that's what you want to do, feel free to boil you an egg and chop it up finely and or leave it in chunks, however you like it. And so now we're just going to start mixing all this together. And now I'm not one that likes room temperature tuna salad, so I may have to let it cool out a little bit before I'm ready to give it a taste. But now Audrey does like room temperature, so she'll probably come and get her some just as soon as I get it made. But basically, you just want to get everything incorporated, and that's really all there is to making this Woolworth lunch counter tuna salad. And I'm going to give you, while we're waiting on this kind of chill a little bit, I'm going to give you some history on Woolworth. And, that's something we try to do if we can, is to find y'all some good history to go along with what we're making. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator. All right, guys. So while we're waiting on our tuna salad to chill a little bit before I'll make me a sandwich out of it, a little history on the Woolworth Company. This is some stuff that Audrey had researched and came up with. So I'm going to just read this to you just to give you a little background for some of you who maybe have never heard of Woolworth. And for those of you who have, maybe you didn't know this. I know a lot of this is stuff I didn't know. So, says that in 1879, F.W. Woolworth opened his first successful store in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, following a brief initial failure in Utica, New York. So, sounds like to start off with, he kind of wasn't successful, but then he was. The concept that he pioneered was the revolutionary 5 and 10 cent pricing model, bulk volume buying, and open counter displays. It was completely new to the retail era, relying on fixed prices and no bargaining. Now, what that's talking about with the open counter displays is before that, you would have to go into a store and tell a shopkeeper what you wanted, and then they would get it from behind the counter. And so every item you wanted, somebody had to actually physically pick it up and put it on the counter. With the concept from Woolworth, you went in, you picked out what you wanted. In 1911, he merged his 319 stores with rival chains to form the F.W. Woolworth Company, which boasted 596 stores nationwide. To cement the company's retail dominance, he built the iconic Gothic Revival skyscraper in New York City in 1913, which was the world's tallest building until 1930. In the 70s and 80s, the company struggled to compete with the modern discount retailers like Walmart, Kmart. They shifted focus to specialty chains like Kenny Shoes and Foot Locker, and officially closed their last American general merchandise store in 1997. So here's a little menu from the 1960s that was at the Woolworth lunch counter. And so I hope you'll get a kick out of the prices of everything. So now talking a little more about the tuna salad, it seems that there was a mistake was made one day when somebody at one of the lunch counters was making a tuna sandwich, and somehow or another they wound up putting cheese on it and grilling it like you would a grilled cheese, and created the Woolworth tuna patty melt. So that's a little interesting piece of history there that tuna melt was created by accident. We'll be back here in just a little bit and we're going to try out that tuna salad. All right, guys. So here's our tuna salad. It's been in the refrigerator chilling for a little bit. And so at the Woolworth lunch counter, they served it on either white bread or wheat bread. And so that's why we're doing it just exactly the same way as they did it back in the day. So the only thing left to do now is to give it a try and see how it tastes. So here's our sandwich, and I'm gonna give it a try. I've never tried tuna salad with the tarragon in it, so that's gonna be something new for me. But here we go. I have to say that's pretty good tuna salad. The tarragon's not overpowering. It's a very subtle flavor to the tuna salad. Um, but I'm Southern, so I think you got to have eggs and anything that's got salad on the end of it: potato salad, macaroni salad, tuna salad, chicken salad. But it is pretty good. So hope you guys will try this recipe. Even if you remember the old Woolworth when they were in business, you remember going to the lunch counter. Try this recipe. See if it tastes like it did back in the day. Let me know. Let me know how it tastes. All right, guys. So y'all make this for your family. Share it with your friends. And remember, hit that like and subscribe button. And click on the bell so you get notifications. And we sure do appreciate y'all watching the video. And we will see you here in a few days.